The girl won the junior figure skating championship at the age of 12. As her coach, her mother placed all her hopes on her, the reason being that her mother's own career as a former athlete was forced to end when she became pregnant with her. Therefore, she pinned all of her unfulfilled dreams of winning a championship on her daughter. But as she grew older, her body began to undergo subtle changes, and she no longer felt as light and precise as before. During training, she started making mistake after mistake, and with every fall, she could see the disappointment in her mother's eyes. In order to regain her mother's approval, the girl trained desperately. The upcoming national competition was her last chance. She even spread rumors that her mother had a mental illness, hoping to get her mother's trainees to quit. She thought this would force her mother to focus all her attention on her. But then, a girl unexpectedly entered her world. When she first met Alice, Alice was working part-time at the rink, cleaning the ice and organizing equipment. Alice was confident, carefree, and naturally had a charm that drew people to her. The two girls, about the same age, quickly became close friends. During their free time, Alice would sneak the girl out of training to visit night markets and eat street food. The girl finally found a brief moment of freedom for herself. But what she didn't expect was that her mother, always so focused on herself, noticed Alice's talent immediately. Even more difficult for the girl to accept was the fact that Alice, even when just casually skating, displayed a lightness and fluidity that the girl, after years of practice, could never achieve. Her mother not only offered to coach Alice for free, but also spent a large amount of money to buy Alice the best skates and training clothes. Eventually, her mother even let Alice move into their home, so she could train anytime. At this point, their roles had completely shifted. The once promising girl had become Alice's training partner, still working as a rink assistant, while Alice stood in the spotlight, now the most important skater to her mother. Watching Alice glide gracefully across the ice, jealousy began to take root in the girl's heart. She started deliberately leaving small holes on the ice during resurfacing, hoping to hear the sound of Alice falling. From then on, the girl threw herself into destructive training. She was the first to arrive at the rink and the last to leave. She fell countless times and got back up each time. She finally tamed her body's unfamiliar changes and regained her balance on the ice, just as she had before. But whenever Alice appeared on the rink, her mother's gaze always followed Alice, and her praise was always directed at Alice. What stung the girl even more was that the competition music she had spent 6 months preparing was suddenly given to Alice by her mother, who said, "Alice's style is more suited for this piece," picked up her tools and began to repeatedly sharpen her skates. That night, she challenged Alice to a one-on-one on the ice. The girl still couldn't surpass Alice's natural talent. Alice's movements were smooth and flowing. Alice's smile, in the girl's eyes, felt like mockery. The girl's sanity completely shattered. She suddenly raised the skate in her hand, and with all her weight in despair, she swung it at her friend. The blood began to spread slowly, and she wore a strange, almost mocking smile.